Thanks, guys. I just had two comments on bench management, more so in like the messaging and communication of it. One would be I often referred to the power play people as the slow it down players and the penalty kill as the speed it up players. I think those who've seen me play would argue I am definitely a speeded up player. I was not a power play player, but I was the player who go out there and create chaos and got a lot of penalty kill minutes. So I think it's a different terminology, which I actually quite liked, because if I don't identify as a slow it down type of player, so I like being sort of that moniker of a speeded up player like that. That really spoke to me. I don't remember where I stole it from. I definitely didn't come up with that. Um, but I thought, that's a way, maybe in minor hockey, like a different way to put it. If you do have, I know when I coached junior, I definitely had players who, were doing certain roles and not doing other roles. And that would sometimes be the way that I would message it to them. And depending on the kid, it seemed to resonate with a lot of them. And understanding that we're going to be a bit more patient on the power play. So you have to be a slow it down player. One thing I did in minor hockey, and I don't know if it would work at the national team level, but it'd be an interesting thought experiment. Um, I think a lot in minor hockey, like the parents want their kid to be on the power play, right? We assume the players want to be on the power play. I think a lot of girls hockey players don't want to be on the power play because they're scared to be on the power play. So when I coached U15 AA, my first year as a head coach, I had them vote. Like they had to, put up their hand if they could only choose one special team, which one they would want to be on. So we did this vote with, obviously the goalies don't get to vote. They have to be on both, but 15 skaters, only 4 of them said they'd prefer to be on the power play. 11 of them said they'd prefer to be on the penalty kill. So obviously, we played a 4-man power play. No, but I mean, it was interesting because, and some of the kids who I thought were my most skilled players didn't want to be on the, like if they had their choice. And it did come up a couple times in conversation with parents. They'd be like, oh, like, how come these players on the power play? I'm like, well, when we did this vote and the kids were honest, some of them actually said they didn't want to do it. I don't know why. I didn't necessarily pry with all of them, but I think our perceptions of what people value and what position they actually want to be in, everyone thinks they want to be on the power play, but they might see, and in girls hockey, again, the penalty kill is often drives the offense a little bit more than the power play, certainly up to I would argue, the U15 level. So that was just some thoughts that I had on maybe different ways to message those things with younger players. But I definitely use the speed it up, slow it down when I coached junior, which had been the same age group that Courtney was coaching at Worlds. And I don't know, they seem to identify with it a little differently. That maybe hadn't been explained to them that way before.